From 5620 Crawford Street in Harahan, welcome to Louisiana Baseball and Softball Academy, a beautiful 23,000 square foot year-round indoor baseball and softball training facility. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to the Catholic League Football Show. Eric Ritchie, pleased and honored to be joined by Rummel head coach Jay Roth. Coach, it's playoff time. We've had you on a couple times, but not in the postseason. Congratulations on a 10-0 regular season, and welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Eric. Good to be here, especially this late in the year. We know things are going well if I'm still here.
Absolutely. And for the next 30 minutes, we'll talk to Coach Roth. We'll also hear from one of his assistants. Lee Roussel has made the trip down here to LBSA. We'll also talk to the guys here. We got Mason Katz again working out behind us. Kurt McCune, former LSU baseball players all over the place. And, of course, highlights from around the area from the first week of the playoffs. But, Coach, you weren't in action the first week. As the number 2 seed, you get the bye. You're getting ready now for Turling's Catholic. Before we get into the matchup, let's talk about how you spent the bye week and preparing your team, I guess, for a playoff game this Saturday.
Well, last year I wasn't a big fan of bye week. It was the first time it was put in place by the LHSA, but I realized how important it was last year to let your kids rest. And this year I was prepared for it to where, you know, we gave the kids off Monday and a Friday, Monday and a Thursday, game off a weekend, only practice an hour 50 minutes because we really didn't know who we were playing, and held those out that needed to rehab and get healthy. We held some guys out every day.
I know last year, again, a Division I state championship. The year before, a Class 5A state championship. So you're coming off back-to-back state championships. And I know last year, you know, as many, you were outspoken about the format. Many of us still scratching our heads. And if there's a big head scratcher this year, it's obviously the seeding. When you had the 4 teams that were playing up, you have the most brutal schedule in the state of Louisiana. You go 10-0, you're the defending state champs, but somehow you're the 2 seed. And I guess if you can, what's your reaction to that? And do you think that this situation will be fixed anytime soon?
Well, the only situation I want to see fixed is get everybody back together. That's what I want to see. I mean, you know, the seeding, the LHSA did that without thinking it through. And, you know, I'm not blaming any of the schools involved in it because the LHSA the ones put that rule in. So they're the ones that didn't research it enough to figure this was going to happen. But I want to see everybody back together. You know, we have a 12-team field, which is very strong. And I'm going to tell you, you know, these 4 quarterfinal games in Division I are unbelievable. You're pairing teams 10-1, 9-1, you know, 8-2. 10-1. I mean, it's some real good football from top to bottom. But I still think people want to see a true champion. You know, and you're not going to have it this way.
Yes, I concur wholeheartedly, and I think I speak for a lot of high school football fans in the state of Louisiana. Especially, I spent 6 years in Indiana when they lost the high school basketball classifications and the no class. You know, the movie Hoosiers is based on the underdog being able to play the top schools. That no longer is the case there, and hopefully they'll rectify the situation here in Louisiana with football.
I sure hope they do, because that first week of playoffs and some classifications, if teams are 0-10 playing 1-9, it doesn't speak well of Louisiana high school football.
Before we go ahead and look at Turling's Catholic and kind of take a dive into what's ahead, let's look back. And we really haven't had a chance to talk to you and put an exclamation point on the end of the season, which is exactly what you did, winning the title outright. And, of course, you know, doing so by a wide margin, finishing 10-0, winning a Catholic League title. I think it's your 11th in 20 years winning a Catholic League title. I know that means a lot to you, you especially with all your tradition and your history at Rummel, appreciate what winning the Catholic League title means.
Well, that's our number one goal. I mean, we don't talk about state championships. We talk about Catholic League championships because it's such a unique history in the city with all the schools that have been part of the Catholic League over time. And you know, last year St. Augustine was the Catholic League champion, although we won state. And it was our goal this year to be Catholic League champs first before we even think about anything else. And to have to go through Jesuit and Brother Martin to become Catholic League champs, you know, as good as they were this year, it meant a lot, especially winning Week 10 to be outright champions.
And now you are, and I guess if you can, a little bit about some of the individuals that stood out. And again, Christian Fulton missed the first part of the season, but came back and has had a terrific junior year. 10 interceptions on the season. He was a Catholic League Player of the Week one week, and then he got 3 interceptions the next week. It was unreal what Christian has been able to do this year.
He's made a huge difference being in there. Just gives everybody confidence. He's covering the other team's best receiver. And, you know, guys like Stanley Morgan and Chigbu from Holy Cross and Lipscomb from Jesuit. You know, he's covered some pretty good guys and done well. Brandon Phillips going both ways for us. You know, Briston Guidry, wrecking havoc in the front line, and then Michael Mosley being the solid player he is at Mike linebacker for us, or at linebacker for us. Then on offense, Chase, you know, played probably his best game of the year against Brother Martin Week 10, and Ryan Hanley and Pierce Bonk up front, and our crew of receivers who have each caught over 20 balls. So, you know, it goes on and on. I'm sure I left some people out, but it's been a solid team run for a championship, or a district championship.
Yeah, your offensive line, you know, and Tyrell Jacobs. I mean, you could go on and on when you talk about this Rummel football team. I guess the last question before we go to break and look back at some of the other games, what were your impressions of some of the matchups? Because we had Catholic League versus Catholic League, not on one occasion, but two.
Right. I mean, we had some of the teams had to eliminate each other the first round, but I'm just looking at this week, you know, John Curtis versus Evangel. So there's teams that have played each other in the state championships.
Yep.
Rummel and Turlings. Turlings the number 2 team in 4A, and the number 1 team in 5A.
Yep.
Then you have Jesuit and St. Thomas More, and then Brother Martin Catholic.
That's
I mean,
unbelievable.
those are like semifinal matchups,
Yes.
all in their own right. And you know, I wish I could be at all the games Friday night just to watch them.
Absolutely, we do too. So if you can't watch them, what we do is give you the next best thing. We're going to show highlights now from week 1 of the playoffs involving several mano-a-mano battles with Catholic League teams. Jesuit and St. Aug meeting for the second time in as many weeks, opening up the playoffs Catholic League style at Tad Cornley Stadium. Charles Jackson, over 100 yards, he would find the end zone. Chris Mills, over 100 yards, he too would find pay dirt. 423 yards of total offense for the Blue Jays this night. Trey LaForge threw 3 touchdown passes, and a year after getting swept by the Purple Knights, the Blue Jays serve up a dose of payback. 42-14 the final, as 6-seeded Jesuit, now 9-2, advances to face St. Thomas More in Lafayette. Barely a month after Shaw almost knocked off then undefeated Brother Martin, it was a one-sided affair on this night in the first round of the playoffs. It was all Crusaders. West scores on the 19-yard touchdown, and it was 42-7 Crusaders. West ended the night with 215 yards. Third quarter, more of the same. Jake Brogy threw 4 touchdown passes on the night. Here's one of them. Little swing route to Bruce Jordan Swilling, who takes it the distance. 35 yards down the near sidelines, and Brother Martin had it in cruise control. Brogy also rushed for a touchdown. Here on the keeper up the middle, an 8-yard touchdown run. It was 56-7 Brother Martin. Shaw would add 2 touchdowns, both of them coming from Trey Regis, who carried the ball 23 times for 215 yards. This touchdown run accounted for 72 yards. But it was fitting that the Crusaders would close out the scoring, actually in historic fashion. Bruce Jordan Swilling, he had 100 yards on the ground, scored a couple of touchdowns. This 25-yarder helped Brother Martin put up a school record 63 points as they defeat Shaw 63-21. 5th-seeded Brother Martin now traveling to Baton Rouge to face Catholic in the quarterfinals.
All kind of came together tonight for us. We talked about peaking. It's a good time right now to be peaking. Kind of wish we would have been peaking weeks 9 and 10, but it's playoff time. 0-0 right now, so really proud of our kids.
Yeah, the defense gave us great opportunities. They gave us the ball, I think, twice in a row on their side of the 50, which has helped us score, really.
Realty Executives, where the experts are. The best agents are the most professional and knowledgeable. The best agents are executives. Realty Executives, serving New Orleans and all surrounding communities. Now with offices in Metairie, New Orleans, Mandeville, Herrero, and Destrehan. Realty Executives, where the experts are.
Hi, at Tachi Insurance, we can do it all, not just life, health, and employee benefits. But now we've expanded our product portfolio to include all commercial lines of insurance. At Tachi Insurance, we can truly be your one-stop shop for all your insurance needs. At Tachi Insurance, you get personalized service from Natalie
and Kelsey Tachi.
Louisiana Baseball and Softball Academy offering 2 full state-of-the-art turf playing fields, 16 batting cages, and 3 clay baseball pitching mounds. Welcome back to the Catholic League Football Show. Eric Ritchie alongside Rummel head coach Jay Roth. We just showed highlights, coach, of round 1. Let's talk about your round 2 opponent, Turlings Catholic, who knocked off Holy Cross in round 1.
Turlings, it's our first time playing Turlings Catholic in football, so it's the first time meeting between the two schools. But I couldn't think of a tougher team to have to play. You know, in our first game in the playoffs, Turlings Catholic is the number 2 ranked team in 4A. They are 9-1 right now. They lost to the number 1 team in 3A, U-High, 36-35, week 1. They defeated the number 1 team in 4A, St. Thomas More, at the time when they beat them in a wild game. I believe it was 56-42. But the crazy thing was that Turlings goes up 14-0 in that game in the first quarter.
Right.
And St. Thomas More scores 42 straight points to go up 42-17. And then Turlings scores the last 36 points to win. And it was an unbelievable game. And intense rivals. I mean, these two schools, I've found out, really don't care for each other much, St. Thomas More and Turlings. And then Turlings defeated one of the top teams in 3A, also Notre Dame of Crowley, 17-14. So they've played some good football. And I'm going to tell you, compared to schools we've played in the past, Eric, they remind me of Barb High School 2 years ago offensively. Their quarterback's about 6'7". They're loaded with athletes, good-looking kids, athletes. I mean, they're probably the most athletic team we've played all year. And defensively, they're solid. You know, on offense, they're kind of like the Evangel teams of the late 90s that we played. They spread the ball around, a lot of screens, a lot of receiver screens, back screens, vertical passing games. So they're a very, very impressive football team.
Let me ask you a little bit about, I mean, you guys have played so much smash mouth football. I mean, physical, you love playing that style of football. You played in teams with great athletes. Week 1, East St. John, you shut down a very athletic football team from the River Parishes. But when you see this matchup and you talk about their athleticism, what do you feel will be the key as far as coming home victorious, surviving and advancing, what this playoffs is all about?
Well, you know, they're not Xavier Lewis like East St. John. They're not a Stanley Morgan like St. Augustine. They spread the ball around. We can't concentrate on, I can't say, okay, Christian, let's go cover this guy who's 6'4", wide receiver. They got 2 receivers over 6'4". You know, so somebody else is going to have to cover a very good athlete. They're their running backs are good. Their quarterback is terrific, and I think they're going to spread the field out on us. And we got to get pressure on the quarterback. And when you do that, you're going to lose some coverage in the secondary. So they just present a big matchup. I'm not going to say a problem, but they present matchups. We got to have the right matchups on the field for them.
Coach Roth will never, ever be mistaken for a guy who looks ahead. So I preface this next question with, you're not looking ahead. But in the bottom portion of that bracket, Jesuit could be a possible third-round matchup. My question, not about facing the Blue Jays, just what do you think about the Jesuit football team and how they've performed this year and right now with a ton of momentum?
Well, let's just say I'm not looking ahead, but I'll talk about who they play this week, St. Thomas More.
There you go.
You know, Jesuit lost to Ponchatoula, who's undefeated, and Rummel by less than a touchdown each, I guess. 3 points to each, I believe. And
that's 20-0 combined.
Right, and they had to play a first-round playoff game and got like a middle seed. They're as good as any football team in the state of Louisiana. And they proved it last week. They can run the ball when they want to. They can throw it when they want to. Their offensive line's massive. You know, LaForge, Moreau, the receivers, Lipscomb. They got many weapons on offense, and people don't give their defense credit. You know, I believe it's Hunter Roberts, the name everybody knows, the defensive lineman.
51, right?
Yeah, but they're a solid defensive football team, and they've shut down some very good teams offensively. I mean, when it came to those last 3 games of the season, we had the trifecta: Rummel, Jesuit, Rummel, Brother Martin, Jesuit, Brother Martin. I mean, Jesuit held us to 10 points and held Brother Martin to, I believe, 14. So they're a real good defensive football team.
Speaking of Brother Martin, obviously Crusaders still alive on the upper half of the bracket in Division I. Give me your take on the Crusaders, who have lost back-to-back games after starting 8-0 to start the season.
Well, they rebounded nicely last week.
In the first round.
Yeah, they rebounded nicely last week. They had over 600 yards offense.
Yes.
You know, they were impressive last week. A team like Shaw, who probably should have beat them the first time, and it wasn't even close this time. They made sure everybody knew that they're ready for the playoffs, and I think Catholic's going to have their hands full with them this week.
I guess before we bring out Coach Roussel and take another break, just overall, your impressions right now, high school football, Louisiana playoff time. Is there anything better right now than being in Louisiana playing high school football at this time of the year?
Yeah, getting to Thanksgiving week next week is still practicing. That's the best thing that can happen. I think that's every coach's goal is to be practicing Thanksgiving week. So this is the big week for everybody. You want to get to Thanksgiving week, and it's been a great season, but it would be a disappointment if you don't get to Thanksgiving week.
I lied. One more question before we go to break. When you look back at your regular season, is there a game in that unbelievable stretch of non-conference games that included Dutchtown, Acadiana, all these teams that you went up and you defeated? Is there a game this season, including the 5 Catholic League games that you won as well, that stands out? Has there been a highlight for the season up to now for J. Roth?
I actually enjoyed every week. Of course, when you go 10-0, you can say you enjoyed every week. But I think playing Catholic in front of a standard room only crowd up at their place was pretty neat. And you knew you were going to either see them again or see them advance far in the playoffs, and that was a good win for us. But the Catholic League is always fun because you coach against guys you coach against players you might live in your neighborhood, and it's just a very intimate 5-game run you have there in the Catholic League because you know everybody.
Well, it's been an awesome run so far. We're going to let you go. We wish you the best of luck. We're going to take a commercial break and bring out Coach Lee Roussel when we return to Catholic League football here from LBSA in Harahan. The Buckwalder Insurance Group has been servicing clients for over 20 years. Our Kenner office, just off Williams on 20th Street, is here to handle all of your personal and business needs, whether it's auto, home, life, commercial, or business insurance. The Buckwalder Insurance Group is here to help you prepare a strategy to achieve your financial goals. Also with offices in Booty and Destrehan. Stop by or call to get a quote today.
Realty Executives, where the experts are. The best agents are the most professional and knowledgeable. The best agents are executives. Realty Executives, serving New Orleans and all surrounding communities. Now with offices in Metairie, New Orleans, Mandeville, Herrero, and Destrehan. Realty Executives, where the experts are.
Watch out, River Parishes. There's a new place you have to check out. It's the Loop and Wingery Sports Company at 2403 Highway 18 in Edgard, right next to the courthouse. Great wings, great atmosphere, and a great place to bring the whole family. Just ask West St. John head football coach Robert Valdez. It's the Loop Wingery and Sports Company in Edgard. Small town, big dreams, crafted with love. Welcome back to the Catholic League Football Show here from Louisiana Baseball and Softball Academy. Pleased to be joined now by offensive line coach from Rummel, Lee Roussel. Coach, congratulations on another great year, and you live both worlds. You're a former River Parish guy, a Catholic League guy. This is what it's like when both of my worlds collide. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Tell me a little bit about your offensive line and what it's been like to coach these guys. And I know a couple of guys, Ryan Hanley, Pierce Bunk, these guys already now 3-year starters. They already have a couple of rings. What's it been like to coach some quality offensive linemen?
You know, I have a really good group led by, like you said, Ryan Hanley and Pierce Bonk, who are both 3-year starters. You know, I could probably leave those guys at practice and they could probably coach the front better than I can. You know, like I said, both of those guys 2-year starters. And then I have another senior at right tackle, Austin Lavin, who's filling in, did a really good job. And the 2 juniors I have are both excellent players, and that's Joe Oliver and Larry Robinson at the left tackle spot. So they've really been a pleasure to coach. Really good group. Want to get better every day and really, take in what we have to give them.
Coach Roussel certainly gets his offensive line experience, honestly, as a center at Letcher. Coached 2 years in the River Parishes for Letcher, 2 years at St. Charles under Frank Monick as well. So you have learned for some outstanding coaches. Now with Coach Roth, I mean, you could literally, with Coach Detillier, Coach Monica, Coach Roth, 3 of the best coaches in the state.
Yes, I've been lucky enough. Coach Monica gave me my first opportunity in coaching and learned so much football from him and his staff. And that, Coach Detillier, lucky enough to hire me back at my alma mater, and same thing, working with him and Coach Dwayne Jenkins, who's now the head coach at St. James, and just so much knowledge I learned from those guys. And then now Coach Roth, who same thing, just continue to learn and to work for 3 future Hall of Fame head coaches in this state. And I've just been blessed to work for those guys.
No question about it. Now let's talk about the offensive line. When we think about it, and TV guys and reporters and everybody's always focused on the skilled position guys. You're used to that from your days as a player. What do you do as far as the work and the grind and the cohesiveness that it takes to have a good offensive line in practice when you know the guys in the trenches may not get the glory, but they're certainly what it's all based around. It starts with your guys. How do you approach that?
You know, I think it's just building a toughness in those guys and really getting the players one and really liking each other, eating together at lunch and just really trusting the guy and playing for the guy next to you. You know, and I think that's the preparation during the week and practicing that way, and the games become easy. You know, when you practice with that toughness and that physicality. So, and our guys do. They work hard and they Monday through Thursday, and when the games come, you know, that should be easy for them. So.
Coach Roth just told us a little bit about the high-quality athleticism that you're about to face in Turlings Catholic. Give me your take. What is your take, and what do your guys have to do to be successful in this ballgame?
You know, defensively, they're really sound. They're going to line up in a 4-2-5, and what they've done all year is create turnovers. You know, they'll bend but don't break. They'll give you the 4 yards, the 3 yards here, and then before you know it, they create a turnover. So I think a big thing for us is, you know, protecting that football. We tell our kids to end every possession in a kick, whether that's a field goal or a PAT or even a punt, you know, and trying to protect that ball and make sure we control the time of possession because they're going to be lined up and they're a well-coached team and they're going to do a really good job. So I think it's really establishing a run game and you know, and the play action to set up later on in the game.
In the 25 years I've covered high school football, I can honestly say this, and I've talked to some of my guys. Brendan has it, one of our photographers here, as my witness. I'm not just saying that because you guys are next to us. I don't think I've seen a team run the quarterback sneak as successful as you guys have done it throughout the years. Tell me about what makes that play so successful for you guys.
Well, it's just a quarterback wedge. You're really trying to create a flying V with your offensive line. You're trying to get one on the back of the other. So the tackle on the guard in the center, and so on. And you're just trying to fire out with the flat back and try to move the man in front of you. And our quarterback really does a good job of staying on his feet. We've been lucky enough to have, I think, 2 20 or 30-yard runs on quarterback sneaks. And that's just a mentality of you know, pushing the pile and staying on and getting as much as you can. And you're right, it's been a good play for us.
We've seen both of those 20-yard gains. One resulted in a touchdown at East St. John, and then in Week 10 you did it as well. It didn't score a touchdown, but it certainly set up another one. Coach Roussel, we certainly appreciate it. We'll leave you an open mic. What do you want people to know about your football team, your offensive line as you go into the playoffs?
You know, as an offense, what I think I'd want people to know is, you know, we don't necessarily have that one guy that, you know, stands out and say you got a game plan for this guy, but I think we got 11 guys that really buy in and you know, play our style of football. That goes from the quarterback to the receivers. We don't have that one stud receiver. We got 3 guys with, you know, 25 to 30 catches, and we run 3 different tailbacks, and we got multiple guys that can rotate in the offensive line. So, you know, just guys that just play the game the right way.
Well, we certainly appreciate your time. We wish you the best of luck. Time for us to take a break. Good luck. Hopefully there's a state championship for a Catholic League team down the future, and I know it's going to be a rough road, but we wish you the best.
Thank you.
Let's take a break. We talk to our good friends here at Louisiana Baseball and Softball Academy when we return. The Sports Pub and Grill in Destrehan has it all. A great place to watch the game, daily drink specials, and you won't believe the food. From our fresh 10-ounce burgers, fully loaded baked potatoes, and great salads too, like taco salad and grilled chicken. Need something to rinse it down with? How about one of our refreshing daiquiris? A great atmosphere for the whole family. Just a few miles west of the airport. The Sports Pub and Grill, 3001 Ormond Boulevard in Destrehan. RiverParishFootball.com, the authority on high school football in the River Parishes. Game previews, features, player of the week, with video highlights, interviews, shows. We've got it covered. Click on your favorite school's logo and go to their team page. Log on and see what everyone's talking about. RiverParishFootball.com. Welcome back to the Catholic League Football Show. Director of Operations here at LBSA, Blake Benedetto, joins us. It's been fun, a 10-week run. We've had a good time and certainly a lot of things to talk about here at LBSA.
Absolutely. We're excited to announce our new pitching coordinator here is going to be Kurt McCune from LSU. Kurt's here on site to go ahead and give you guys a little talk and tell you about himself.
Well, bring him on in. Bring in the right-hander. Kurt McCune, of course, another Destrehan guy. Welcome to the program. Welcome to LBSA. And just tell us a little bit about you being here and part of this program now.
Yeah, well, my plan was to get drafted last year in the draft. Didn't go for me. So I started working. I was selling insurance for a while. And I came meet with Blake. And Blake mentioned a tryout in January. And I said, you know what, I'm going to play some more baseball. So right now I'm working out, and while I'm here, giving some lessons and trying to give back to the community.
I'm so glad you're not giving it up because you can bring the heat. You got a good pitch, and I'm pulling for you to keep hope alive because you're living out a dream, and we want you to continue that dream.
I appreciate it.
Tell me about what you're going to be teaching these youngsters here while you're going to be out here. Basics of pitching, or what do you try to stress to the young guys that come out?
The younger guys, it's definitely going to be a lot of basics. Mental for everybody. I think mental game is so important. I've learned so much about my mental game from Alan Dunn at LSU. And just, taking care of your arm and just staying in good shape.
What about LBSA that's appealing to you to not only be a member here as far as part of the staff and part of the training staff now helping youngsters, but for yourself to work out here too? What do you like about LBSA?
It's a great facility, man. Blake's awesome. Everybody's so friendly here. They have everything you need. My favorite thing, actually, as a pitcher, is the video game machine, is what I like to call it, where you hit and it tells you how far it goes on an actual major league field. I could play on it all day. It's a lot of fun.
Well, we're going to wrap up this show by taking a little BP here, of course, off camera. But Blake, you're one of the best batting practice pitchers there is. That's a skill.
I just whatever I can do to help the boys. That's what I'm here for. If it's batting practice, if it's ground balls, whatever I can do, that's what we're all here about at LBSA. Whatever we can do for a young athlete trying to live his dream.
Well, from one guy living his dream right now, still, Kurt McCune, we certainly appreciate your time. Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
And Blake, thanks for hosting us all year here on the Catholic League Football Show. That'll do it for now. I'm Eric Ritchie. Thanks so much for watching Catholic League Football here from Louisiana Baseball and Softball Academy. Good night, everyone.